Hey, welcome in. It is a brand new edition of the RSL Show. I'm Alex Napoles. That's Josh Clark. He's Carson Lantz, and we're here to bring you the latest and the greatest with Real Salt Lake. But first, there is a new champion of the world. The FIFA World Cup has concluded, and Josh, I feel pretty good, man.
Yeah, our pick won, brother.
Pre-tournament pick is the champion as Spain knocks off Argentina after extra time. It's Fernan Torres who gets the goal early in the second half, and then Spain hold on to a 1-0 win over Argentina. And is that the last of Lionel Messi in an Argentina kit?
I hope so. Does that mean?
No, not at all.
I don't have an interest in seeing a 45-year-old man playing in the World Cup. You know, I'm good.
I have a hard time seeing and thinking that this is the end, because that's probably I highly doubt that's the way Messi wants to go out for Argentina.
Yeah, but come on, be realistic. It's time. You know what I mean? It's time. Soccer's a young man's game.
It is a young man's game. There is a Copa America coming up in 2028 that I think he could still probably make.
Man, he's already on such a minutes restriction with Miami, and I don't see him having the legs to make it another 4 years.
Oh, he definitely will make it to the 2030 World Cup, I don't think.
Maybe because it's in the opening games are going to be in Argentina.
I thought it was in. Oh yeah, because isn't it a couple games in Argentina and then the rest are in Spain or something?
Like the what's it, Centennial or whatever World Cup 2030. So they're having the first 3 opening games in Uruguay, Argentina, and Paraguay.
That's right.
And then I think after the opening games, they'll go over to Portugal, Spain, and Morocco.
Which is silly. It's so dumb.
That's wild.
Yeah, it's kind of stupid.
If you want to do a special celebration for the 100 years of World Cup, then that's, absolutely by all means go for it. I just think it's so silly and so stupid that you have now 6 host countries who, by your rules, the 6 host countries automatically qualify for the tournament. And so you already have it. And then the whole pot in the seating situations, how is that going to work when you have 6 hosts?
Yeah.
It just seems like you're going to have these weird imbalanced groups now. And
going to 64.
And now you're going to 64. I don't know. The 64 I don't mind. It's just the fact that now you're going to have 6 countries who automatically make it. And that's silly to me.
Yeah, but this makes things interesting for the United States now that we're not a host country and we actually have to qualify this time.
Which is great news, by the way.
Yeah, it's great news because I feel like this is gonna expose a lot of players that are on this team. Can they do it in a muddy day in El Salvador? Can they do it in a rainy day in Jamaica on one of the worst fields ever?
Tobago?
Yeah, can they do it? Yeah, can they do it against Trinidad and Tobago? And then we got a team like Curacao that's now pretty decent in the CONCACAF as well. So it's can Christian Pulisic play in El Salvador when it's when we had the Gold Cup, he's like, oh, well, I need to rest to save my legs for the next season. And then he comes in the World Cup, has a very decent World Cup. I don't think he did good that much and barely played at all. But it's okay, when we, as the United States, when they go play a team like El Salvador, are you going to say the same thing? Be like, well, I don't feel like I need to play a team like El Salvador. I'm going to save my legs for AC Milan. So I think it's a lot of guys, a lot of their mentalities are going to get exposed during this next qualification process, and I'm excited for it.
Hopefully, more guys have come up by that point and, leaving him out won't be such a big deal, because that's my hope. We talked about it last episode, Carson. I hope to never see Pulisic in a U.S. jersey again.
I want to go that far, but
that's as far as I'm going at the moment.
Yeah.
We want to see new
players. Yeah, we definitely want to see new players. I think with Scaloni leaving Argentina, though, I think we may see Pochettino take that Argentina job. So it's going to be interesting if we have to go through another coaching change.
I thought the contract situation of Scaloni is kind of interesting because apparently it's up in December. And so the word that I saw yesterday on Twitter was the fact that he was going to potentially stay till December and then make a decision then. That's just really interesting timing and really weird timing because one, it's the middle of the season, right? In the calendars, all the teams are going to be in mid-season anyway. But then looking at it from the international perspective, I think that if you want to, if you're Argentina, you're already looking 2 years into the future for Copa America. And it's just weird to be in a situation where you're going to move on from a coach in December, already halfway through, I guess, your cycle to a Copa America. I don't know. It's just really weird timing for me. I think if you're Scaloni, like, you make the decision now rather than putting it off to December. Because then if it is that he does decide to leave Argentina in December and then Mauricio Pochettino, ends up getting enticed to go take the Argentina job, then where does that leave the U.S. men's national team, right? And you're stealing away somebody who should be getting geared up for the Gold Cup, essentially.
Definitely a weird situation going on.
Weird timing in all of this.
Yeah.
How about Spain, man? Rodri. I would not be surprised if Rodri's back in Ballon d'Or conversations. The tournament that man just had is a massive, massive reason why Spain won the World Cup. And I've already seen like all the criticisms and everybody going after Rodri winning the player of the tournament, winning the ball. This whatever they call it, the best player at the World Cup. But it's fair. It makes sense. I don't think Spain goes on this incredible run without Rodri. And I love that it's an unconventional position, right? You would assume that the best player at the tournament typically is one of the top goal scorers, typically one of the top superstars, typically, an Mbappe, a Haaland, a Messi. But not enough credit, I don't think, is ever given to guys who play Rodri's position. And so him getting that credit, I think, is absolutely phenomenal. Because I played that position.
It's a really pivotal position. Like, without Rodri, like, you got to imagine, like, how would have Spain done? And I mean, Spain has a record of having players like Rodri, and like you can look at Busquets, like they're very similar in like their build.
Absolutely.
And they both run that midfield, and then whoever's next to them is, Fabian Ruiz he hasn't lost a game when starting for Spain.
That was a crazy stat. That's a wild stat. And I mean, you just look at De La Fuente, the head coach for Spain, who I remember when the hire was made after all the drama, right, with Luis Enrique and his exit, and then just kind of how much drama has been involved with the head coaching position of the Spanish national team since Del Bosque retired. And then they hire De La Fuente. Everybody goes kind of I remember Spanish media just absolutely going, like, burying the man, saying, who is this guy, essentially, because all he's really coached is the U's. All he's really coached before this, and his most of his experience has been with the under Spanish national teams. And then all of a sudden he's the guy, he's the main guy, and more than proves that he was the right decision. He's only lost 2 games as the Spanish national team manager.
It's just insane. They broke Italy's record, right?
Yep. 38 games straight undefeated.
It's wow. Wild. They're just so good as a team. Like, that's a unit. There's just not one guy on that team, right? Defensively, they're so sound. They just possess you to death. It's not brilliant or flashy or overly entertaining soccer by any means, but by God, it works.
I think that's why a lot of people don't like this Spain team, is because it's not. It's
so controlled. It feels very Italian,
right? It kind of does. It kind of does, but in the sense that Lamine Yamal, who's probably the biggest superstar on the team, doesn't have the tournament that I think anybody wanted him to have. He just had the one goal. Can't even remember if he assisted any. But obviously he's not having his best moment. He's not playing his best soccer, so that's fine. Everybody else around him will step up, and everybody else around him will be the players to fill in a Lamine Yamal void. Oyarzabal had a fantastic tournament that I don't think enough people are talking about. Even Ferran Torres, who scores the winner for Spain, that was his first goal tournament, and I remember everybody banging on him. I was even banging on him for missing wide open opportunities, and again having a really bad World Cup. But they're able to mitigate all that because of everybody else around them.
I mean, that's how you win, though, right?
Yep, absolutely.
So, very impressive from them for me. Again, boring, but it got the job done, and the right team won. I was very, very worried that Argentina would, get that magical free kick in the 95th. Their one opportunity on goal, and Messi would do his thing, and the wrong team would win, right? So I'm glad it didn't go that route.
I think the most surprising thing to me was how poor Argentina was.
They were terrible, dude.
They were really, really bad. Not registering a single shot until the second half of extra time is insane. When you have a Messi, when you have a Julian Alvarez, who essentially didn't do anything the entire game, it was kind of shocking to see Argentina be as pedestrian as they were in a FIFA World Cup final. But to have 0 shots registered through 90, to not be able to even have your first shot until the second half of extra time, that was kind of insane to me. To have 3 touches inside the box, inside your opposition's box, the entire 90 minutes is crazy. And that's credit to Spain's defense as well.
It's credit to Spain's defense, but it also, right, it really shines a light on all those extra time games they had to go through.
Absolutely. Oh, dude,
to get to this final.
I think by the 60th minute, man,
they were. How many of them were playing through injuries? It seems like a lot of them were.
And I mean, absolutely.
Well, I mean, Lisandro Martinez is out for United now again. You know?
Of course he is. He's only fit whenever Argentina needs him. So like.
They subbed out both of their center backs. One came early, right? You're talking about Lisandro Martinez. Both of their center backs ended up leaving this game because of injury. And then you had, to start the second half of extra time, Tagliafico, who I thought did a pretty good job on Lamine Yamal defensively throughout the course of the game, couldn't even get up, man. The cameras were panning to him as the players were returning onto the field, and he was just sitting there. He could not get up. But at this point, you're out of substitutions. You don't really have a choice. You have to dig deep and go out there. And essentially, it just seemed like this Argentina team really ran out of gas.
Right, and this Argentina team was also exposed for the dirty team we've been saying they are.
Oh, absolutely.
Right, it was really showing, especially after the match and their sore loser behavior. You just give me more reason to dislike them.
I'm glad you bring it up because I would not be upset to never see Enzo Fernandez play again.
Right.
Yeah. That guy, I don't know what that guy's deal is, but I feel like he thinks the world's out to get him. Dude, you've done so many controversial things off the field. I think you should look in the mirror and like think about what type of person you are rather than thinking that everyone's out to get you. Because if people are out to get you, like they have a reason to, because you are not a good guy off the field. And that's all I really got to say about Enzo. Like that foul on Kubarsi, you let down millions and millions of people in your own country to be dirty for 1 second and get it a second yellow, and then all of a sudden your team's down 1 man.
And I mean, to try to argue that wasn't a foul, my guy.
They try to argue everything. It's so annoying. He's
the worst, man. So is Leandro Paredes, former Paris Saint-Germain man. Now I think at Boca Juniors. He subs in at halftime too, and immediately 52nd minute gets the yellow card for a stupid challenge. Bad challenge. And I thought honestly he was kind of lucky late in stoppage time not to get a second yellow. And honestly, I think that the challenge he made, had he not been on yellow, he would have probably seen a yellow in that challenge. But lucky, really, really lucky, also not to be sent off in this one. Plus, he's the one who instigated and started the post match extracurricular activities for Argentina.
Yeah, I hope some of the guys in the post match, actually get punished severely, because that's ridiculous.
Yes,
come on now.
To be trying to throw punches at Rodri, right, as he's running on to celebrate with his team, and then you have the whole Gavi and I can't even remember who else was involved, but Leandro Paredes essentially going and attacking Spanish
It was
players.
Almada. Almada was the one standing there.
Almada also instigating. Absolutely.
Almada didn't. I don't think Almada did anything. He was just standing there, and Paredes threw a punch at Gavi, and then Almada was trying to hold back Paredes. And so it's like, and even like one of the assistant coaches threw a punch at Danny Olmo.
Oh yeah, I saw that. I saw that this morning. Yeah.
Sore loser behavior, man.
Gotta learn how to lose, man. I know
it's a class team. Spain is such a class team because like those fouls Argentina does, like those little fouls, like those bug the crap out of me. Like imagine if Sergio Ramos was on Spain right now.
Oh, you would have had a red.
Yeah, he would have had a red.
He would have murdered somebody.
Because when Paredes did that stuff versus Netherlands, Van Dijk freaking leveled him. Van Dijk wasn't having any of it.
Which I thought a really, really smart play by the La Fuente and by that Spanish team not to fall into that trap.
Mm-hmm. That's what Argentina wanted, right? They wanted to get back on even footing.
I mean, in the first half, you have Tagliafico putting his studs into Lamine Yamal's calf. Lamine Yamal gives, a little bit of a retaliation, but essentially just kind of pushes him off and continues walking onto the field and essentially ignores the antics of Argentina. And I thought it was really smart played because you go back to the Switzerland game and they played into it, and essentially Mbolo sees a second yellow, and he gets sent off in that game. And then obviously everybody remembers the controversy at the end of the Egypt game and the frustrations that boiled over there. So I thought Spain did a really good job of managing the emotions, and Argentina obviously did not.
Just sore losers. I'm just going to keep saying it. And then to turn your backs on Spain when they're getting the trophy, like it just,
yeah,
I don't know, man. They need to reflect and realize that, they are not God's gift to football.
Yeah. Toni Kroos essentially, I think, saying what everybody is thinking. He goes and he tweets out after the game, football won.
Yep. 100%.
The Argentina fans are not happy with his response.
Well, sorry, Argentina. Get over it.
I think there was a lot of people who, after seeing, the amount of missed calls, the amount of just the way that Argentina, I guess, acted, even what you saw in that post game, after that, it all kind of boiled down to everybody not wanting to see Argentina win. I feel like that was the general vibe that I got off social media. Mm-hmm. And there you go. Spain wins.
Absolutely loved it.
I was definitely wrong. You guys were right about Spain. I thought Spain was going to pull in Italy. So, and they very much didn't pull in Italy. So I look very, very dumb right now. But at the end of the day, I'm just glad Argentina didn't win.
You remember when Carson said he doesn't believe in Spain?
I do remember.
Gotta have more faith, Carson. Gotta have more faith. Phenomenal tournament, though. Despite the controversies, despite the visa issues, the Somalian referee, despite we talked about it a little bit last time, Josh, Iran getting that goal called back, and I feel like a lot of really great moments for a lot of these smaller countries that necessarily didn't go the way, whether it was VAR, whether it was whatever the decision was. Despite all the controversies, I thought really, really fun tournament regardless, because of the videos of South Korea and Japan and Mexico celebrating with the Mexicans, because of the Boston welcoming the Scots. A lot of really great moments. The Viking row that took over the world. A lot of really, really great moments. Overall, fun tournament. Loved it.
How about that third place game?
Oh, yeah, we got to talk about the third place game.
That should have been the final. If that had been a World Cup final, my guys.
Oof. I want to know what Didier Deschamps said in that locker room at halftime, man.
Like, really, down at half and you make it a game? Unbelievable.
Like, really? Like, this is how you guys are going to let me go? This is going to be the this is how I'm going to go out as the French manager by you guys putting up an absolute goose egg in the third place match. Like, I would have loved to be a fly on the wall for that halftime speech and that halftime conversation, because immediately fired up to start that second half France was.
I would have loved if Tuchel would have not, completely screwed his own team over against Argentina, and that England would have played Argentina.
Yeah.
Spain, England, low-key would have been another, get a rematch of the Euros. That'd have been.
It would have been a funner game, I think.
But I don't know what Real Madrid's scouting team was doing, but hey, they signed Konate from Liverpool for free, and he got subbed off right at halftime.
4 substitutions were made by Deschamps at halftime. Upamecano comes on, Luka Dean comes on, Barcola comes on, and then obviously Ousmane Dembele joins at the halftime break. So you make 4 substitutions immediately coming out of the dressing room, and they made a big difference, because Ibrahim Konate, like Carson mentions, did not have a great game.
It was terrible.
Ryan Cherky was essentially invisible this entire game. Luka Dean and Theo Hernandez, I don't think are anything to write home about at the left back position, but clearly Theo Hernandez had a horrible game as well. Yeah, there was a lot of players on the French team that started that first half, that started this game, that I thought were going to show a lot more, but they were essentially non-factors.
It was fun, though.
I just wanted to see Conte for one last time on France. I mean, who knows? We could see him again, but
he's quite old, isn't he?
He's 34? 34?
No, I thought he was 31.
Oh.
It's a big difference, honestly. 31 and 34.
No, 35. I'm totally
wrong. Wow.
Totally wrong.
Maybe he was just there for experience and just in case they needed him.
He was just there to smile.
Yeah, he's the locker room guy.
He was just there to be the locker room guy and smile, as he does.
Honestly, if I was brought to World Cup to be a locker room guy, I don't think I'd care. I think I'd be just so happy to be there.
Exactly. And knowing N'Golo Kante, he was absolutely that way. He was just happy to be there.
Especially for training sessions as well. I mean, for the younger guys, just to give them guys like Zaire Emery and Desiree Doué, just having someone there. It sucks that watching that French team, you're always just like, dang, I wish Pogba was still up to it,
Still relevant.
Yeah, that team could have used a Paul Pogba really badly.
How long until he joins Inter Miami?
Hopefully never. I'd rather him go to New York City FC with Lukaku than go to Inter Miami.
Carson, no one goes to anywhere but Miami now. Don't you know this new MLS rule?
Lewandowski just went to Chicago.
He doesn't count.
Which, by the way, we'll get to the Chicago situation.
They're idiots.
I have thoughts. But first, I want to highlight a fantastic tournament Jude Bellingham had.
Yes.
Oh, incredible.
Talking about the England team. First of all, I was completely shocked Bukayo Saka got a hat-trick in this game against France. I was surprised at how good this England team came out against this French team. For them to be up 4-0 was absolutely incredible. But Jude Bellingham, man, despite, I don't think Harry Kane had anywhere near the tournament that I think everybody expected him to. And in the absence of Harry Kane, Jude Bellingham stepped up and essentially put this team on his back and was a big reason as to why this England team made it to the semifinals.
Yeah, he shut me up. I was criticizing Jude a lot from that Madrid season, and I didn't think he'd have it in him. And he very much had it in him. So you forgot to bring up Jed Spence, though. Jed Spence.
Jed Spence also had a tournament.
Oh yeah.
Is he still at Tottenham? He's still at Tottenham, right?
Yeah. Him and Pedro Porro are both at Tottenham.
Yeah, what's up with Tottenham players doing well at the tournament?
Relegation battle. Relegation battle.
And then when they all get back to Spurs, the team coming off a relegation battle. That's I thought that was interesting that happened. Phenomenal tournament. And anything else you guys want to put out there about the World Cup before we wrap this up? Move on back to MLS.
I think just my one thing is great World Cup. I know it was a little controversial at some points, but I thought it was a great World Cup overall. But just one thing that I think that's been bugging me is that just because I was hate watching Argentina doesn't mean I don't like Messi, and just because I don't like Argentina doesn't mean Argentina Messi fans need to bring Ronaldo into every conversation.
No, I think you're absolutely right. Two things can be true. You can be happy for Messi, and you can be a fan of Messi and enjoy his career, while also act not wanting to see Argentina go back to back. I think that was the case for a lot of people that I saw online anyway. And you can have a conversation about Lionel Messi without having to bring up Ronaldo at every turn. I absolutely agree.
Yep. That's all from me, though.
No. I'm sad it's over, but I'm also kind of glad it's over because I missed RSL. And I'm pretty sure that's what we're getting to here.
Absolutely. Major League Soccer is back in action. They did have games this past Thursday. Montreal and Toronto FC tied to a 0-0 draw. St. Louis ended up taking down Sporting KC 3-2. I think the surprise of the first batch of games of MLS returning is the fact that the Portland Timbers downing Seattle in Seattle 5-1. The Timbers now also too with a new head coach. That news came across yesterday. But the interim head coach doing a good job getting his team ready to take down Seattle 5-1. Just a crazy result. Nashville with a 1-0 win over Atlanta United. And then LAFC taking down the Galaxy in El Tráfico. Heung-min Son available in this game, ends up playing, scores a goal in this one as well too, so that's something that Real Salt Lake will have to look forward to on Wednesday when RSL is back in action against LAFC. A couple things I want to hit on real quick before we get into Real Salt Lake, and it's the fact that Chicago Fire was expected to play. They were supposed to play, and they were supposed to be the marquee game with MLS returning on Thursday, but that game gets rescheduled because of the wildfire situation that was happening up in the East Coast last week.
And mostly Canada, though, yeah?
Yes, Canadian wildfires. The big story, though, coming out of Chicago is, of course, Hugo Kuipers, who is now leaving the Chicago Fire after the arrival of Robert Lewandowski, which we talked about it last time, Josh. What? That's
so stupid. It's such a stupid move.
I thought that, you were still going to be able to hold on to Kuiper. I thought that, it would be the smart move to hold on to Kuipers and have Kuipers still be your guy while rotating in Lewandowski. But they're moving on from Hugo Kuipers, one of the guys who was in the Golden Boot race. They're shipping him off to Monterrey, and now Lewandowski's going to be your starting striker.
To put this in RSL terms, this is like if we still had Sabarillo, and then when we signed Giuseppe Rossi, we sold Sabarillo.
Oh, bro.
Like that's RSL level, right? Like,
yeah.
Lewandowski is not Giuseppe Rossi, right? But like, you have a really good player, you bring in a name, and then you ship off the player that's actually going to do something for you and have maybe some longevity.
Yeah.
Wild. And then selling him to Liga MX too. I mean,
yeah,
it sucks.
I'm kind of upset that MLS, like the league of MLS, let Kuipers go when that price that they sold him for, any like team in MLS probably could have bought him for.
100%.
Yeah, but you don't want to. I think if you're Chicago, you don't want to sell him into the league.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you want to sell him into your Leagues Cup competition?
But also, like, to Liga MX,
where he's going to play for 6 months and get sold anyway.
Yeah, the league you're actively competing against all the time anyway. I thought it's such a weird move.
No, he'll be back in MLS in a season and a half for like $4 million, because that's what happens whenever MLS sells players to Liga MX, dude.
You know that Monterrey bought Kuipers and Diego Rossi.
Yeah, Monterrey has been trying to ransack the best talent of Major League Soccer this summer. They got Ross.
They try to get Luna.
Got Rossi. They got Kuipers. They tried to get Diego Luna. Yeah, Monterrey. They're making some interesting moves, as well too as bringing in some of the Mexico players from that were in Europe and bringing them back to Mexico. So
good on them.
It's been a couple. It's been a couple of disappointing seasons for Monterrey, and they're trying to get back to a point where they can compete for a Champions Cup. Which, how do you do that? You go and you spend a bunch of money, I guess.
And you ransack the league you're playing against.
Exactly. Take out the competition. Smart move on them. Wednesday slate looks like this. Columbus back in action. They'll take on New York City FC. Cincinnati will take on Vancouver. Inter Miami will take on Chicago in what is now anticipated to be Lewandowski's debut after that last game gets rescheduled. New England will take on Toronto. Philadelphia will take on the New York Red Bulls. Charlotte will take on Atlanta. Austin and Seattle, Houston and DC United, Nashville will take on Montreal, Sporting KC will take on Minnesota, Colorado Rapids will take on San Diego FC, LA Galaxy versus St. Louis, LAFC with Real Salt Lake visiting, Portland will host FC Dallas, and then San Jose will take on Orlando. Real Salt Lake back in action Wednesday night when they take on LAFC. They had a friendly last week on a Wednesday as they welcome in Burnley, recently relegated Burnley. Josh, we said it was going to be a really good test for Real Salt Lake, facing still some Premier League talent. And Real Salt Lake walks away with a 4-1 win. 2 goals from Sergi Solans, had an assist on the Xavier Gozo goal, and then Diego Luna puts the cherry on top with a late penalty to make it 4-1 Real Salt Lake.
Yeah, I didn't anticipate a 4-1 win, so I'm happy with that.
Oh, I don't think Burnley did either because they got chippy.
I mean, if you're a team playing in England, right, you're probably discounting MLS.
Yes.
And then to go out there and have that team kind of put it to you.
Yeah.
Right. And you can't even say that Real Salt Lake's in midseason form either. It's been 4 weeks since they played a game, 5 weeks. So
I saw the argument online, and I highly disagree with it because of what Josh is saying, right? They haven't played since May 24th or whatever day it was.
Right.
They were also entering a mini preseason as that was kind of in the middle of the season, right? So I didn't like that argument that I saw people trying to make online. It's like, oh, MLS, they're midseason. That's lame. That's a bad excuse.
You're still a team that goes up and down to the Prem. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
Sorry about it.
Rafa Cabral stood out, made a penalty save early in the first half to keep it 0-0. Sergio Solans had a couple of really good opportunities early in the first half. Another 1v1 that he
bottled.
Just can't get past the goalkeeper. I'll say it nicely. Still, Sergio Solans has to work on the 1v1s. He does get a goal, though, late in the first half to take a 1-0 lead into halftime. And that's when things got really chippy. It's coming out in the second half, a lot more pushing, a lot more shoving. Morgan Giavogi and Kyle Walker go at it on a corner kick. And then Real Salt Lake add a second one with Sergi Solans. They add a third Gozo adds a second. Then they add a third with Sergi. And then, like I said, Diego Luna puts the final touches on a 4-1 victory with a penalty. And yeah, Burnley was not having it. Like I said, things got really chippy in that second half because you're in preseason, right? You come all the way over to America, take on an MLS team, and I think the last thing you expect is to be that outplayed, right, against what you think is inferior opponent.
Yeah, I think MLS, the level is definitely up from where it was 5 years ago, right?
Absolutely.
I think, respect, it's not going to come yet, but teams are going to start respecting MLS a little more.
Yeah, I think from the world's fan perspective, I still think you're a long way from MLS being respected.
Right, but the more we export talent, the more we potentially beat up on these teams in friendlies, right?
Yeah.
We're never going to be considered a great league. Not in our lifetime.
Yeah.
No.
But I love to see it. I hope Burnley gets relegated again.
And I think too, wouldn't that be something? I think MLS right now has a really, really important role to play in how do you keep soccer at the forefront on the conclusion off the conclusion of the World Cup, right? We talked about it a little bit last time, the "We'll Take It From Here" campaign, which I think is still so silly. But the reality is, right now, MLS is playing a really, really important role. It's the domestic league and how the domestic league is going to perform and how the domestic league is going to look. That plays a huge factor into, I think, keeping people interested and keeping people watching and keeping people around soccer that, only come around soccer every 4 years because of the big event. And even more so, a big event that's now held in your home country. So MLS has a really important role to play in all this. And I'm curious to see if they can finally step up to the plate and earn some of that respect that we're talking about, Josh.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't think bringing in old retiring players is the answer, though.
I 100% agree. It feels very MLS 2.0.
Go get some of these young kids that were kind of nobodies coming into the World Cup, right? From some of these smaller countries, bring that young talent in, make those your U22 initiative players. I know we're already doing a good job at that, but continue that, right? And don't just send them to the 4 big markets. Yeah. Spread them out.
There's a young Tunisian on his way over from the Tunisia World Cup squad, and I know Tunisia didn't have the best World Cup, but I mean they have talent there, and San Diego was bringing him in. Elias Achuri.
So that's what we got to do. Because if you can take a young player from the World Cup, develop him, sell him off for a good amount of money to Europe, right? It just starts looking better for you. So
yeah, it's a smart idea. But you got to think a lot of these kids who are playing good are probably getting looked at by bigger leagues as well.
Right, but that's where you make the selling point of, hey, you could go sign for, we won't throw the huge club in there, so we'll use Tottenham.
Yeah.
But they're just going to send you on loan.
Yeah.
Do you want to go be on loan or do you want to come be the guy here, right? Do you want to make a name for yourself or do you want to just get tossed about until you maybe break through somewhere?
Yeah, I agree. I think definitely in the eyes of a younger player, you want to be playing first team ball and being in the MLS and playing first team ball and then being a U22 initiative player. Well, how much do they make? $500,000 a year?
They make a good amount.
Yeah, they make a pretty good amount of money. And so, I mean, that's not the worst situation for an 17, 18, 19-year-old from another country to come over to the MLS and, get that experience rather than being sent into the academy or second team right away or, getting sent onto that loan army like we see with a lot of big teams have with young players.
And they don't have to worry about, players or, you as a player, you don't have to worry about not getting called up to your national team because you're playing in MLS because that's gone, right? There were so many MLS players in this World Cup.
It was
that's not a stigma anymore.
It was very MLS coded. And I think that's a storyline that's kind of been a little overlooked from the outside. I think obviously here in the US, that's a major selling point and that's a major thing that I think people are looking at. But it was very whether it was former MLS players, right? Players who've just come through the league at some point in their career, whether that's direct MLS Academy products. There was an uptick of MLS presence in this World Cup.
There was a ton. There were 2 playing in the final.
Yeah. Thiago Almada, and remind me who else?
In the final?
Yes.
Messi and DePaul?
Oh, okay. Yeah. MLS players. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I was
current.
Thinking, yes.
Current. Yep.
There were. This is put out by Matthew Doyle earlier today, and there was 64 matches in 2022, and there was 104 games in this World Cup. Right, with the expanded tournament, that's a 62% increase in matches. So to put it into perspective, there was 1,903 minutes played by MLS Academy products in 2022 and 4,920 in 2026. That's a 158.54% increase in minutes played by MLS Academy products.
It's pretty great.
That's pretty dang good.
That's awesome.
Very very Major League Soccer coded. I remember even just watching the South Korea team, right, play, because they were in the same group as Mexico, and so I was watching those games really closely. And one of the goals scored by the South Korean team this year was scored by Hwang Bom, which was a former Vancouver guy from 2022 or 2023. So at some point he was in here, and I was like, oh my gosh, I forgot about this guy.
Yeah, it's just cool. That's cool,
and it's really awesome to see. Again, just players coming through this league, and the numbers I had to start off there for Matt Doyle, plus little instances like that. That's a selling point for your league. That's a selling point for the future of trying to bring in talent. And I think they're taking a major swing right now with aligning the calendar with the rest of the world, because in the past, trying to bring in talent like that has been an issue because of the way the transfer portals line up and the transfer windows line up. So we could be seeing an uptick in Major League Soccer in the next couple of years. Now, if you can bring in the product, if you can bring in the stars, hopefully that brings in the viewership that I think you desperately need right now. Again, coming off the heels of a World Cup held in the United States.
I think it would be good.
Yeah.
But to be little counterpoint, and this is kind of a weird one, we got to quit with the generic names. The amount of people I talk to that don't like MLS because they go, wow, LAFC, woo, what an exciting, you know what I mean? Like, right. What is a Real Salt Lake? You know what I mean? Like
I think
we should have never given up that charm.
I think at some point you have to pick a lane. And what I mean by that is at some point you have to go full into, are we going to be like every other league in the world, or are we going to try to find ways to be unique?
Right. I think we should go back to being unique
at some point.
That's the American that's American sports.
Yeah.
No other teams do this generic naming convention. Right. We had Utah Hockey Club for one season, right? No one else does this.
At some point you lost the uniqueness, right? You moved on from the Kansas City Wizards. You moved on from the Tampa Bay Mutiny. You moved on from, some uniqueness. And I mean, some of it still stands today, like the LA Galaxy, like the San Jose Earthquakes.
Right. Portland Timbers, Seattle Sounders, Vancouver Whitecaps. Like there's still some there, but
when's the last time an expansion team had something fun like that, you know?
They haven't.
Atlanta United, San Diego FC, LAFC,
Real Salt Lake.
Oh, I will fight you on the Real Salt Lake one. Because I like the way that not even because I'm a homer, but I like the way that it all came about, right? They asked Dave Checketts was enthralled by Real Madrid, and so he asked permission to take the Real name. They said yes. It led to this little partnership for a couple years. David Beckham was here when they broke ground at America, or what was then Rio Tinto Stadium, right? What's now known as America First Fields. Like there's the history there. I will fight you on that one because of the history of the partnership that existed with Real Madrid.
I don't disagree, but that partnership was never big enough to make the name make sense long term.
Right.
It's still stupid. I love it, but it's stupid.
People, there's diehards who've been following Major League Soccer to this day that don't know that story.
Right. That's what I mean. It's such a minor blip.
Right.
Right. The history there isn't deep enough to like really... Yeah, that's our name, and this is why. It's so thin. You know what I mean?
Right.
I would be totally fine with a rebrand as long as we didn't go super generic. Give us stupid logos, bro.
I just don't know what you would do at this point.
Oh, I don't either, but
yeah, and I mean we've talked about it before. If you move on from Real Salt Lake, and if you do decide to do something else, I just don't know what you would do it to.
No, I don't think we should move on from the name. right? I'm just saying I think it's a stupid name, even though I love it. But I would love a logo refresh or just something to zizz it up a bit, you know?
Fair. LAFC. No, as far as I know, no Timothy Tillman, no Sergio Palencia. So those are two key players, two bigger names on that roster that will not be available, but you'll still have, of course, Denny Bawanga, and you'll still have Heung-min Son to worry about. This is, I think, a really, really good test for RSL coming out of a long extended break because of what we've seen Real Salt do in the past, right? Not being the best coming off of a long extended breaks, not being able to find the same rhythm after a long extended break. However, though, I think when you go up against an LAFC team on the road, no less, and this team is notorious, I feel like, for playing to the opponents, to the level of their opponent, this is a pretty good. I like the draw for Real Salt. I think when the schedule dropped and I saw that this was the first game after the World Cup break, I was like, I don't like that. But now that we're here, I think it's probably the best way to go about it.
Yeah, like we talked last time, I'm glad we're not coming out against a quote unquote weaker opponent, right? You have to come out pedal to the metal or you're going to get smashed, right? So, yeah. And I think, from what we saw against Burnley, I think they're ready. So yeah. I'm feeling pretty good about this one.
You know what's crazy too, though? There was obvious signs of rust. Like there was obvious signs of, errant passes, guys not being in the right spots on the field, guys not being in the right space, guys not being on the same page. Like it was a rusty, specifically in the first half. Like it was still a rusty performance from Real Salt, but they were able to grind it out, man. They were able to grind it out, and they found a rhythm in that second half before they finally decided to sit back and just sit on a 4-1 lead. If you can quickly move on from the rust, similar, kind of like what you saw in that friendly against Burnley, there's no reason for me to believe that this Real Salt team can't get to the level that they were at before the World Cup break.
Yeah. Well, what if we come out and just get absolutely throttled? How are you going to feel then?
Then alarms would be going off. But I would at the same time try to be like, okay, you knew it was going to happen. You knew Real Salt aren't necessarily the best coming off extended breaks.
Yeah. How long until? Because I feel like this is our conversation every year, right? How long until you panic, though? Because I feel like the benefit of the doubt's always there. How many games do we go, okay, a little rusty, we went on a break, before we're like, okay, what the hell's going on here? You know what I mean?
I would want to see improvements, and I think I would need to see improvements by next Saturday when you go on the road to St. Louis. I think you still get a little bit of a mulligan on a short week on the road, going out to Portland on Saturday. So I think if you don't see improvement in the first two games, then I think that's probably where I give you the mulligan. If you don't see improvements against a low St. Louis team, I think that's when you start to really, really have concerns. And then obviously you have 3 straight at home in Leagues Cups against some really good competition. So if you especially don't see improvement at home, a place where you've only lost 1 game all season long, then that's when the real concern begin.
Fair enough.
You in the same spot? You in the same place?
Yeah, I'll be patient. Mark that down though for next week when we chat. If I'm like, God damn it,
Carson.
Ask that question one more time for me.
How many games? What kind of grace period are you giving this team to come out and show that they cannot completely fall apart after a long break like we've seen over the last few years?
Honestly, we started out really good in the first half of the season. And right. I feel like if anything, you get that long break, you should be coming back 100%. and ready to go. So we honestly, off the first game, we should not be playing bad. In my opinion, I think we need to be looking like the team we've been all season.
Carson's got a higher bar, man.
I don't mind it.
Yeah, I strive to get to the bar Carson's at.
You know, who are we playing? LAFC first?
LAFC, Portland, St. Louis, all on the road.
We need at least 6 points out of 3 of those games. LAFC game, I could see that being hard, but also Heung-min Son's probably going to play. Boyenga's definitely going to be 100%. LAFC looks like they're probably going to have a 100% fit team. So I can see that game being hard. Portland, though, new head coach. You never know how a team like that's going to be.
Portland's a massive question mark for me right now.
That's a trap game for sure.
Well, they just put it on Seattle.
Yeah, they have the talent. They just got a new head coach. They are a dangerous team now.
Right. I think have you not gotten the new head coach bump, right? Or the interim head coach bump, or whatever we're calling it right now? I don't know if Martin Cifuentes, who's the new guy they just hired, I don't know if he'll be ready by Saturday. I don't know if he'll be on the bench for Portland on Saturday. I don't even think the official announcement has come down, so I highly, highly doubt it. But we're seeing an interim head coach bump for Portland. Never did I expect them to head into Seattle and knock down the Sounders 5-1, but here we are. So right now, Portland's a massive question mark to me. And I think I agree with Carson. That is, it's got the makings of a trap game, specifically on the road at Providence Park, a place where Real Salt Lake is either really, really good or really, really poor. And there seems to be no in between.
There really isn't.
Yeah.
So that game on Saturday, I think for me is still a big question mark. But then you take on St. Louis, who I think is in a similar situation with Portland, except they don't have an interim head coach bump. They've been, very inconsistent throughout the course of the season. Like, that is a must win.
Yeah.
You go on the road to St. Louis, that is a must win for me. If you can come back after this, if you can come back to America First Field, right, to the Leagues Cup games, picking up, 4 points, I think you feel okay. If you pick up 6, I think you're on cloud 9. If you pick up all 9, then this team's winning MLS Cup.
In this Western Conference, we need at least 6.
I think I would have to agree, because kind of to reset the Western Conference for everybody as we resume MLS action, Vancouver's at the top with 32. San Jose's in second place with 32 points. Sitting in third above Real Salt Lake is LAFC, one of the teams that you will be facing off this weekend, with 27 points. Real Salt Lake in fourth with 26. Dallas 5 with 25. In sixth, Seattle Sounders with 24. Houston in seventh with 22. Minnesota in eighth with 22. And then you have the Galaxy rounding out the playoff positions with 20 points. Sitting below them is St. Louis with 10. Or excuse me, in 10th is St. Louis with 19, and then in 11th is Portland with 17. So those are the 2 teams that you will face, go up against after the LAFC game. LAFC 2 games in hand on Real Salt Lake, by the way, sitting with 27, just 1 point above Real Salt Lake. So this is a massive 6-point swing for Real Salt Lake coming up on Wednesday, regardless.
They're honestly kind of must-win games already.
Oh man, we're not even one game in. We're not even one game into MLS coming back, and we're already in must-win territory from Josh.
Yeah, we need a win. Honestly, like, we've had a great first half of the season. Like, when do you get this much rest? You know what I'm saying?
Right. No excuses. No excuses.
Well, and the reality is too, I think if you aren't able to capitalize on the opportunity that's in front of you, and in this case, Real Salt Lake, again, a team who is sitting high in the Western Conference, sitting high in the Supporter Shield standings, you still have this roster intact. You don't have, right, you have the luxury of holding on to Diego Luna for now. You have the luxury of holding on to Xavier Goza for now. I think if Real Salt Lake isn't in a similar spot where you're winning at the volume that you were winning in the first half of the season, I think it's a failure.
I can't disagree, man.
Yeah.
I can't do it. I can't make myself disagree.
Yeah, I can't disagree either.
You have a really, really great opportunity laid out in front of you. You're already in a really good spot in the Western Conference. You got to build off of that. You got to continue to you have to continue to position yourself in a spot where you can be the higher seed and host some playoff games and be in a really good spot heading into the playoffs, not just squeaking in like Real Salt Lake tends to do. So if you're not able to capitalize on the first half of the season, which has been successful for Real Salt Lake, it's a failure in my book.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. No pressure, lads.
Y'all got it.
Real Salt Lake back in action Wednesday night against LAFC. They'll also take on Portland Timbers on Saturday in Portland on July 25th. Both of those games kicking off at 8:30 before you get a week's rest to take on St. Louis on Saturday, August 1st on the road at St. Louis. So with that, anything else you guys want to add? Anything else you guys want to say? Anything else you guys want to throw out there before we wrap this one up?
No, sir.
Let's see how this next week and a half goes, because either it's gonna be really bad or it can be really good.
Absolutely.
Yeah, depression might hit quicker than we thought, or we could be elated.
Yeah, or you could be on cloud nine after this this stretch. Leagues Cup coming up too, right around the corner, and all at America First Field. Again, a place where Real Salt Lake has only lost one game all season. So I feel like you also have a really good opportunity to do something in Leagues Cup where you can position yourself in a spot where you can be top 4. But we'll get to that after the task at hand, which is LAFC and the Portland Timbers. That's going to do it for us here on the RSL Show. Don't forget to go like. Don't forget to go subscribe. Don't forget to go follow. Don't forget to go do what you have to do to follow the RSL Show for the best RSL content. And we'll talk to you guys next week after the LAFC and Portland matches.